Hi, Do-It-Yourself Duke here. Today we're going to be changing a fuel filter on a 2004 Dodge diesel pickup. It has the 5.9 liter diesel in it, and it's the 3/4 ton. It's really simple to do, and by doing it yourself you're going to save a lot of money. Dealerships, some of those charge up to $120 an hour plus the filter. And doing it yourself, you're able to check out your engine and make sure everything looks okay as well. Let's just go over the things you're going to be needing to do the fuel filter change. Some simple tools, as you'll see. We've got an 1 1/8" socket, which we'll be using to take the top off of where the filter is. Of course, the socket wrench. I use a couple extensions in a Warbly here. Gloves are always good if you don't want to get diesel on your hands, because that's always smelly. And of course the fuel filter, this just happens to be a Napa Gold filter 3585XC, and that's the fuel filter that uses, and a glove and a little bit of diesel. We'll see how all that works in the next step. Let's get right to it and get the old filter out. Okay, there it is down there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the socket. I'll fish it down through here. Easier with the extensions and all that. Get it on there. There it is. And then start turning it. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay, let's take that thing off of there. Get a rag. It's going to be some diesel. Let it drain down in there. There it goes. You can hear it. Try to keep from spilling as much as possible. And there you go. There's the old one. So we're going to take it over to the table. Put it in here so it doesn't spill all over. Take it over to the table and take the old one out and get the new one in. So you can see down in there, there's a little bit of diesel in there. We're going to put the new one in there and top it off and go ahead and screw the lid off. And that's going to be it. Let's go put the new one on. All the filter boxes and new ones come with this little reminder, a little tag that says when the next oil filter change or the fuel filter change is, also where the part, it gives you the part number 2. A lot of people write it down in a book, or when you get it, you get your change somewhere else, they put a little sticker on your windshield. But make sure you note the mileage so you'll know when the next time you need to change those filters. The new one, I'm going to go ahead and take that out of the package. And it comes with everything you need. The new O-ring and the new filter. We'll go ahead and take it out of the package. Then, as you can see, the way it's set up, it's going to be going in like that, because the fuel's going to go in through there and coming out the filter. So let's go ahead and take it out of here. And it's kind of locked in there with these little plastic tabs. And you get it out of there. And you can see right here is the old O-ring that goes on this cap. We're going to take that off, and then we're going to put the new O-ring on there. Those come with it every time you change, whether you change these at the manufacturer recommendation is every, say, 15,000 miles, or some people change these fuel filters every time they change the oil. And it kind of depends upon what kind of fuel you're burning. If you're doing the 80-20, the biodiesel, 20% and 80% petroleum diesel. Some people change the fuel filters every time they change the oil, which is sometimes every 6,000, every 7,500 miles, depending upon the kind of oil you're running in the engine. If it's just standard oil, some people run the synthetic and go longer with an oil change. But let's just say the manufacturer's recommendation every 15,000 miles on these fuel filters. So we got that back in there. There's the old one, which we'll dispose of wherever it's good to, wherever you feel like it's necessary. And then remember, we'll go back on like that, where that's going to go down in there. and the fuel will run through there. So that just clips back on there like that. Now, simple. It's ready to go back on there and screw back on. When we put it down in there, we'll make sure there's enough diesel in there so we don't suck any air when we try to start that engine. Let's go ahead and put it in. Now you can see the receptacle that filter's got to go into. There's quite a bit of diesel in there. Once we put the new filter in there, we didn't hardly lose any diesel coming out of there, so we're not going to have to add any. If that was down lower, you would have to add some fuel in there so you didn't have too much air when you start the engine. But we're going to go ahead and pop it in there, screw it on. Then we're going to start the engine and make sure everything's running okay. Tighten this back up. Now that's going to seat that big O-ring. I mean, you don't have to really torque it on there. Just until it comes up snug. I just go a little bit by little bit until it gets tight. Then it's good to go. Now we're going to start up the engine, make sure we don't have any leaks. Anyway, so we'll jump in and turn this key on. Well, hello, Sam's. What'll happen once you turn it on, you'll hear that fuel pump fuel back up into pressure, and then you'll be ready to go. Turn the key on, start it up. A lot of people will drain the old fuel off on the bottom of that fuel filter housing too. There's a drain. I don't do it every time, but a lot of people will. I didn't do it today because it's cold. So anyway, that's a step, another step you could do. Go ahead and start it up and check it out. Okay, that job is done, and it took very little time. Tops 15 minutes once you get all your stuff together. So, it's really necessary to change the fuel filters on a diesel pickup. In the future, Do-It-Yourself Duke will be doing some other automotive things just to show people how to change their oil, their air filters, different things like that. That's something I love to do. I love to do it myself. Even though you don't do it yourself, you may take it out somewhere, at least you'll know the process. And that'll help you from getting ripped off by some unethical oil change place. So stay tuned for more Do-It-Yourself Duke.